Alright, quick update on LiteCoin. So, I'm surprised we're only down, 12% on the day. There's a lot of other cryptos which are down 25, 30, 15%, and LiteCoin isn't exactly the most bullish coin in the world. Let's be honest, if we zoom out on this, just looking at this objectively, I mean, it was like XRP, one of the only cryptos that did not manage to make a new all-time high this bull cycle. So you can see, not only have we got, I can't even call it diminished returns really, because we didn't even manage to push above the previous bull cycle. So Litecoin is, well, I mean, it moves up and down very fast, but within this range, we really have not done anything since December of 2017. And like I said, this lower high is just kind of indicative to me that, like XRP and a handful of other cryptos which did not become exceptionally bullish this year, probably means that coming into this bear market, they are probably going to get slaughtered if we do keep on dropping down. I mean, you can see 95% capitulation on Litecoin from the all-time high in the last bear cycle. Where are we currently? We're about 83%, so I could definitely see Litecoin coming all the way back down to this accumulation range. I mean, at this moment in time, I would be very, very hard pressed to see Litecoin just pump from here, because we're really not bullish. I mean, we have these pumps up, these dead cat bounces, and they're always lower highs. Even the macro ones, you can see all-time high here, lower high, and then you've got more of these micro ones that we're focusing on. But Litecoin is just, it's not bullish in my opinion. Obviously, nothing is bullish at this moment in time. Everything is breaking down. So I'm not just being harsh on Litecoin. Everything looks bad right now. But in my opinion, Litecoin has more to come down. And I've been talking about the fact that I would not be trading Bitcoin until we've had a solid bounce. Sorry that the charts are so slow on TradingView. They're never normally this slow on my channel, but today for some reason I think a lot of people are looking at TradingView, so it's quite laggy. But nonetheless, I mean, I'm showing you the Bitcoin chart. This is a Litecoin video, but I want to tie everything together. The dollar is super strong. The stock market's exceptionally bearish. I mean, look at this. Coinbase is down 25% today. One of the biggest companies in the world with a plethora of profits coming in yearly is doing worse than Litecoin, which makes absolutely no sense to me, because Litecoin, at least in my opinion, is pretty much like a test net for Bitcoin. Other than that, I would not say Litecoin provides any value for anything whatsoever. That's just my opinion. You can agree or disagree with me if you want, but I'm just looking at this data objectively. Like I said, looking at this objectively, it does not look good. Like, we're very much clearly landsliding. And even if you connect the wicks to the bottom here, you can clearly see that we've capitulated below this support trend line, which has now flipped resistance. And at this moment in time, there's really no more fibs that you can draw. Obviously, we've tanked through everything here. I don't think Litecoin would be coming down to any targets, that profoundly bearish. But, like I'm saying, talking about this objectively, there's really no way you can draw this and say that we might bounce from somewhere, because your 786 has been invalidated at this point. This is a trend that's best defined on the weekly, but you can see we have a plethora of closes below it. So the whole uptrend for Litecoin is invalidated. I mean, I'm not here to provide you Moonboy hopium. I'm really here to say what I see in the charts, and unfortunately Litecoin does look like it's going to go a lot more bearish in the next coming weeks or so, in my opinion. I mean, like I said, we do have this big support box. I feel like this would be our next price target. I don't really see too much below us right now at this moment in time, because this whole zone was really just one big old accumulation range. And I mean, you can draw it from here if you want, you can draw it from the top of here if you want. I prefer to get as many wicks as I can while being as condensed as possible. So I would really say this was your accumulation range, because this pretty much best defines what we were trading in for the majority of the bear market, or at least coming down after we made our bear market bottom. This was really the accumulation range that took place until we hopped out of the bear market. And as you can see, this was the top of the range. We've broken back below it. Even if you wanted to draw it from the top here, you would just be, you know, proving the point further that LiteCoin has had a big fall from grace. And then you can, you know, draw it one step further to the downside, but then once again you're very much cherry picking the data, and I'm just trying to fit in as many points as I can on this. But you can see there is a tiny, very dinky level of support that could potentially be coming in at around about $69, which is pretty much what we're sitting on right now. You can actually see we've had a small bounce from here, so it would make sense if maybe we do bounce and chop around on this for a little bit of time. But I think looking at Bitcoin, it doesn't look like Bitcoin has finished with its drop. It looks like Bitcoin is coming back down to 29,000. What does that mean for the altcoin market? Well, if Bitcoin comes back down to 29,000, I'm telling you, LiteCoin is going to smash through this low at $67 to $68, and at which point we would be in a free fall all the way down to $36. I'm not necessarily saying we're going to come all that way. All I'm really saying is, you know, I'm looking at this trend objectively, and the daily EMA ribbons perfectly define that we're in a huge downtrend, and they did flip bullish. But I have one caveat with the way that I look at EMA ribbons, which helps me decide whether a bullish flip is actually bullish, and it's this one thing, and it works out pretty much every time you see these fake outs. So if you see a daily push above your EMA ribbons, you come back down and back test it. You know, you've done number one, you've broken out, you've back tested it, that's number two. But here's the most important thing. This is where you need to push up and break above the previous place you got invalidated. What do you notice about every time we do this? Well, we hop above it, we back test, we make a lower high, and we M out. That is not a successful back test. You would need to push higher than where you got topped out here. And if we look, you can see we tried to come up here, came back for the back test, failed. So breaking out means absolutely nada. You need to break out, you need to flip it, confirm it as support, you need to start pushing up and taking out the previous all-time, not all-time highs rather, you just need to take out this the previous invalidation point, which for this one would have been like $134. And we're not anywhere near doing anything like that at this moment in time. We're in a red-green-red formation. Tons of bearish volume has started to step in, and the last time this amount of volume stepped in, we had a really big capitulation wick, and it doesn't seem like what we're seeing now is as daunting as what we saw back then. I mean, from the opening, to be fair, this was a 13%. It might be very close. Okay, so it's almost on par actually. So you know, take that with a grain of salt, but nonetheless, even when you see these big capitulation wicks, normally what happens is they get bought up, lower high, break down. They get bought up, lower high, break down, lower high. Probably going to get bought up at some point, whether that means that we're going to come up to you know, $85, whether we're going to come into your EMA ribbons. The whole point of the matter is, at this moment in time, Bitcoin is extremely shaky. There is tons and tons of selling volume, and you can see this was only the selling volume from 4 hours ago. It has not started to subside yet. If anything, it's getting worse and worse. So be very cautious with trading altcoins. My trading plan at this moment in time is to only accumulate Bitcoin, and so far it's been working out because everything is getting cheaper against Bitcoin at this moment in time. Best of luck if you're in LiteCoin. Like I said, not trying to shit on your bags or anything, but I'm just looking at this objectively. It kind of looks like one of those 2017 cryptos that was all of the hype back here, and then new cryptos come out like NEAR, Solana, you know, all these move to earn tokens. And I'm not necessarily saying they're good, but the fact of the matter is they have a lot of hype. And this hype is all that matters in the crypto market. It does not matter if you've got good fundamentals. That is one thing I've learned trading these markets for years and years and years. You'd be surprised, by investing in the projects that have the best fundamentals, you're not always going to be the winner. For example, you know, FitFi and Green Metaverse token, we made like a 1000% return on these cryptos. And then you've got, you know, blockchains and great projects like Monero, for example, which are just not doing as well because they've lost their previous hype. So like I said, I look at things objectively. I don't try and bring my personal opinion into my trading plan, because I feel like sometimes if you do have an emotional attachment to your investment, if you do really like a project, then sometimes it can be hard to look at the data objectively and realize that Litecoin is in a huge bear market. I mean, what is the difference between this breakdown, huge capitulation, dead cat bounce, and then huge capitulation? What is the difference between that and this? Because once again, huge capitulation, dead cat bounce, broke down. The only difference is this had another dead cat bounce before breaking out the lows on this capitulation. That just shows that the markets are very bearish right now, and I just do not think that now would be the perfect time to enter altcoins. That's really all I've got. Went off on a bit of a tangent there, but my trading plan is to only pick up Bitcoin. Litecoin can save it. I don't even feel like I would ever pick up Litecoin. Like I said, I'm not a fan of it, but that's just my own trading plan. That's all I've got for you today. As always, cowboy out, not financial advice. Peace.